is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. In Chatham tonight, an entire apartment building's worth of tenants say they've been told they all have to move out. The reason given, renovations, but questions are being raised about whether this is really about safety or about money. CTV's Robert Lothian has that story.
Within a month of learning their apartment building has a new owner, residents in Chatham's Terrace 40 received much worse than an introduction.
Actually, one of my neighbors, my wife and I neighbors, came to the door and said, "Did you see your eviction notice?"
Gord Harvey and 39 other tenants receiving notice they would have to leave the building for 8 months due to renovations for safety purposes.
We understand this news may come as a surprise, but it is essential that necessary work to be completed to keep up with rental market conditions.
The notices sent panic in a building of mostly seniors with an average rent of about $850.
Their worry is, and there's people in here losing sleep, that I'm going to be homeless.
Notices included a cash for keys offer, give up your tenancy, and receive $5,000. Tenants now left without any other choice, or so they thought.
This is a scare tactic, and I'm going to call it that because they're not very honest with the paperwork that they gave.
Housing stability worker Jeff Wilkins says municipal council first alerted him of the notices. A deceitful tactic he says is common in the province, serving as a form of renoviction.
So it is in the landlord's best interest, if they want to do it this way, to try to get rid of everybody.
The landlord is pointing to concerns over asbestos, which Wilkins says is not unusual in older properties.
You go into a church, you go into a school, there's a chance there's going to be asbestos in there. But as long as it's not disturbed, it does not have any ill health effects.
CTV News has made multiple attempts to contact the building owner, but has not received a response. As for those living here, more than 30 tenants plan to stay and fight.
So to try to get the landlord to say, this isn't worth it for me, this community is fighting, this building is too much trouble, and to get them to stop.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
A 23-year-old driver from Bell River is facing charges after a crash involving a train. OPP say it happened last night in Lakeshore on County Road 22 near County Road 42. They say the railway crossing lights were flashing, but the driver still tried to cross. No one was hurt, but the man behind the wheel has been charged with careless driving, and their license has been suspended for a week. Meantime, police forces across the region say they're not taking part in the federal buyback of assault-style firearms. The new federal rule means banned guns and devices need to be surrendered to police or permanently deactivated by the end of October. But it's not mandatory for police services to help out with this, and those in Windsor, LaSalle, and Chatham all say they've decided not to, citing concerns about staffing, resources, and how the program would work locally. And the Windsor Police Service is asking for help identifying a suspect after an armed robbery. They say it happened at a restaurant on Tecumseh Road East, just east of Windsor Assembly, around 8:30 Monday night. Police say a man walked up to the cash with his face covered, suggested he had a gun, and demanded money. When employees ran to the back, he took off with an unknown amount of cash. No injuries were reported. The suspect is described as a white man between 5'7" and 5'11". In addition to the mask, he was wearing a dark jacket with a white emblem, dark pants, running shoes, and gloves. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Extreme cold doesn't stop policing, but it does change it. CTV's Sanjay Maru spent the day with a member of LaSalle Police Service to see what changes.
Been with the LaSalle Police Service for 15 years, and this is top 3 cold years I can remember.
For police officers who have an already difficult job, extreme cold adds another challenge. But the demands of the role remain.
Yesterday, there was a truck about 100 meters in front of me, and I couldn't see it even with its lights on.
Here inside Constable Christopher Williams' cruiser, the heat is on high, and he has his winter gear at the ready. And when the snow falls, making roads slick and visibility poor,
Just drive slow, and you have to navigate the parked cars and still find stop signs.
Williams says enforcement still applies, but judgment and road safety go hand in hand.
People will roll through stop signs and the yellow light. People may not slow down like they're supposed to for it, but if they were to slam on their brakes, they would just slide into the middle of the intersection as well. So we kind of look at the big picture of things, but if it's blatant that they had no intent of even trying to stop, and we still have the job to do at the end of the day.
Cold weather also brings calls that have nothing to do with enforcement.
Yesterday morning, there was a guy who had his Chrysler 300 stuck on the side of the road. He got it half out, helped him get it the rest of the way out, and I'm sure every officer here would have tried to help him out the same way that I did.
In situations like that, Constable Williams says helping people get moving again is just part of the job, which he adds is why it's so important for drivers to slow down and stay off the roads when they can, because every unnecessary trip risks putting first responders back out in the cold.
We work 12-hour shifts, days and nights, and there's no rhyme or reason for how long you can stay outside. You just have to be prepared to spend some time outside.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
2 Canadian companies are drawing attention for their ties to U.S. immigration enforcement. As CTV's Andrew Johnson reports, it's raising questions about business and image.
This Virginia warehouse is owned by Vancouver billionaire Jim Pattison, but it may soon be property of ICE. The U.S. government is planning to buy the building to use as an ICE processing facility, sparking backlash.
You have a moral duty to stand in the interest of humanity and to cut your ties with ICE immediately.
BC's Green Party leader is calling for shoppers to boycott Pattison's grocery stores, including Save on Foods.
As Canadians, I think we need to stand in solidarity with our American neighbors who are at risk of violence every day and do everything in our power to pressure these corporations.
Another BC-based business, tech company Hootsuite, is taking heat for providing social media services to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. A protest is planned for Friday.
We've seen it before with Tesla, with Spotify, with Jimmy Kimmel. Public pressure changes behavior. So our message is essentially that the public is watching, and you will be remembered for how you chose to act in this moment.
One expert says the question of whether companies should back away from business with the U.S. is not a simple one.
There are lots of Canadians who don't agree with a lot of the actions of Mr. Trump. Do we sever all ties? Lots of Canadians have voted with their pocketbooks not to visit the United States, but that doesn't mean we still don't sell them oil.
Ryder says one potential strategy for these businesses is to keep quiet and hope the backlash blows over. CTV News has reached out to both the Jim Pattison Group and Hootsuite for comment. We've not received a response. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
If you use Nexus to cross into the U.S. through the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel, there's an important change you'll want to know about. Starting today, drivers heading from Windsor into the U.S. will see a change to where Nexus lanes are located on the Detroit side of the tunnel. On weekdays from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Nexus lanes will be on the right side of the U.S. Plaza, with general traffic moved to the left. Outside those hours, the setup flips back. Officials say the change is in effect until further notice, and drivers should follow posted signs. The new Windsor-Essex Hospital project was hit another milestone. Companies are now being sought for a major phase of the build. CTV's Michelle Molesky has more.
Transforming County Road 42 and the 9th concession is going to take an experienced contractor.
At least 2, maybe 3 that would be potential suitors for this development.
To lure prospective builders, the multi-billion-dollar project is being broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1, now underway, will eventually see a parking garage and admin building built. Phase 2, the main portion, a 5-story tower for all healthcare departments, with the last phase building a tower for all the inpatient beds.
Phase 2 is the largest phase of the development. It's really the heart and soul of this project. It will be the most expensive proportionately.
Exactly how much? Bailey won't say. What they are confirming is groundbreaking on Phase 1, quote, mid-2026.
From the curb, you will not be able to tell the difference. We'll break ground mid this year, and construction will slowly continue and expand from there on.
Meaning phase 2 can start before phase 1 is completed. And when it's all said and done, the phases will be a distant memory.
From a user, from a staff, from a patient perspective, you'll never be able to tell the difference.
Patients will notice, however, all the inpatient rooms will be private, with space for a caregiver.
That will be a huge boom, not only to infection control, but also to the healing spirit of the new hospital.
Michelle Molaski, CTV News.
Staffing and safety at Windsor's International Aquatic and Training Center are under scrutiny. The city says there is no safety risk and confirms it has addressed the concerns. CTV's Chris Campbell reports.
I have a 0% increase in my optimism of how this facility might run next year.
A social media post by daily user Six Langman is sparking debate over staffing levels and patron safety at Windsor's International Aquatic and Training Center.
At the very base level, we are getting less service at this center than we were getting, well, essentially 3 weeks ago.
Langman alleges there is no staff or security presence in the upstairs fitness area during early morning hours and no immediate way to call for help. He says staffing cuts and shortages have, at times, left the front desk unattended.
Staffing cuts are leading to safety concerns. They changed the facility and moved a wall. They're adding more equipment, but they've cut out a staff person in the morning.
He also claims lifeguards are occasionally pulled from pool supervision to cover front desk breaks, something he says raises safety concerns.
I did get a response from the city. They did send a letter and sort of went through some of the points. I feel they kind of glossed over some of them, but just they said that some of these things were going to be taken care of, that they're in the process of being remedied.
Langman says his hope is to see morning staffing restored, considering since user fees went up. He argues the cost of adding a shift would be small compared to the potential risks.
So far, we've had 0 incidents of problems at the Aquatic Center.
Downtown Councillor Ronaldo Agostino says he uses the facility regularly and has not personally experienced the issues raised.
But I also read the email from the city, and all of it makes sense. So I think there still seems to be a little bit of concern, and I'm just going to go in and see it for myself. I think it's the best thing to do.
Agostino says staffing levels can shift seasonally during slower periods, calling it a standard business practice, and adds that security measures are not discussed publicly.
Nobody really wanted to start an argument. I just really wanted to have the same level of service that I had at this facility. I see it going downhill, and I see the city saying to me, well, no, that's not happening. And I can literally see it, and so are other patrons.
The city is encouraging anyone with concerns about any municipal facilities to contact 311 or their local councillor. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
A new grocery store is coming to Windsor's West End, and for many Sandwichtown residents, it fills a major gap. CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti reports on a broader push to revitalize this historic neighborhood.
We have 0 vacancies, and as soon as a space becomes available, people snap them up like that.
And soon, Mills Dollar Plus is about to recreate itself as Mills Grocery Plus.
In a neighborhood that could be considered a food desert, where a lot of people don't drive, a lot of people cycle or walk to the grocery store. It's something that's very important to have, especially in weeks like we're having right now.
A co-owner who didn't want to appear on camera tells CTV News this space will be a full-service grocery store with fresh produce, breads, dairy, and meats, even a small beauty section. The store will be converted aisle by aisle, one at a time. Residents will notice coolers being delivered in about a week, and shoppers can watch the conversion happening as the store won't be closing during the changeover. Owners say they will be offering delivery for an extra fee. This neighboring business owner is thrilled.
Seeing, new faces, new traffic, it's definitely beginning to feel like a home, like a nice community again, compared to what it's been.
Other businesses are also slated to open this year. SPQR Roma Cafe, a dessert and gift boutique called Pretty & Co., and a second hair salon shop. And just last month, Jake's Tavern opened up shop.
We're on the doorstep of the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge, which for many people will be the first time they visit Canada, or first time they visit Windsor, or maybe even Canada as an entire country. We will be the gateway for so many people, whether they're coming across the multi-use pathway on foot or on bicycle, or they're driving through.
The BIA plans to launch a major tourism campaign in the near future.
Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time.
I'm in love with our defense.
And stay tuned for sports. All the latest local leads from the ice to the volleyball court still ahead. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our first look at the weather for tonight. Gary, gonna be cold tomorrow morning.
You're right about that, Travis. I am anticipating wind chill values in that -25 range yet again. Now, the good news, bad news part of this story is technically we are not in an extreme cold warning. That's good, but we remain well below seasonal for at least the next 4 days straight. More on that in just a moment. Case in point today, reaching a high of -9.5. Our average high is -1. And the low was very cold this morning, -19.2. The wind chill values were in that -23 to -27 range across parts of southwestern Ontario. We have this massive spin of low pressure. You can make it out with the counterclockwise swirl. And lake-enhanced snow coming off Superior, Huron, Michigan, Erie, and Ontario, all of the Great Lakes, plus Georgian Bay and a few lake-enhanced showers streaming westerly across Lake St. Clair today. The worst of it stays to the north and east of us, so that's good news. Not so great if you live in Goderich, Grand Bend, Kincardine, just hammered with snow. But there's some sunshine on the way as this area of low pressure starts to dissipate after the snow. And again, in the next 24 hours, we might see a light dusting in Tecumseh, LaSalle, Windsor, Essex, Chatham-Kent, probably just a few flurries, not amounting to much. Again, the heavier snows lie elsewhere throughout the Midwestern tier of southern Ontario. Overnight temperatures, speaking of cold, very cold, -16 at around 4 a.m. And the wind chill value of -24 is projected to come in at around 7 a.m. And a lot of us will be up and around, headed to work or school, dropping the kids off, that sort of thing. So the morning rush will be a chilly one. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow. Chilly start through the midday, mostly sunny, but increasing cloudiness towards the afternoon and early evening. We'll see a high tomorrow of -10, and that will feel like about -18 in the afternoon. Sunny on Friday, -12 the high. The low -20, and -20 the low Saturday morning. We'll see some fair weather and a high of -8. Sunny on Sunday, -5, then -3, then -6. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wow, temperatures headed towards moderation in this extreme cold snap. That's a look at your weather.
Thank you, Gary. With major trade talks with the Trump administration on the horizon, Canada's premiers are gathering in Ottawa to get on the same page. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
It's going to be an exciting couple days.
The gathering of Canada's 13 premiers, a sign of solidarity, as trade tensions thrust Canada-U.S. relations into a new, more unpredictable chapter.
You know, we talk about Canada true, north, strong, and free. Let us not allow other people to dictate to us how we govern.
We know President Trump's rules. There are no rules with him. So we need to focus on what we can do.
The premiers, even those who sometimes don't get along, sending a message of Team Canada unity.
We don't always agree on everything, but I think we've got a really solid base to start on.
The meeting comes days after the U.S. president threatened massive tariffs on Canadian imports, following the Prime Minister's speech in Davos declaring the old rules-based order dead.
If we are going to determine our destiny and become that leader in that middle power space, it is going to take us making those tough decisions, having those discussions like we'll have today on how we are going to allow that investment to flow, allow those industries that are creating wealth to expand.
One of the major topics on the agenda, provincial and territorial priorities for the upcoming CUSMA negotiations.
In any negotiation, there's on both sides, there's some people that are kind of out front with more bluster. We're certainly seeing that, particularly out of the United States right now, but I'm hopeful that below that, there are real and significant discussions happening and taking place, and I'm looking forward to kind of hearing from the Prime Minister on on the status of those.
Discussions, the Prime Minister said today, are going well.
Relations are good. We have good conversations, good back and forth. There's a lot of work to be done for the review of CUSMA.
But that apparent optimism was met today by a threat from the U.S. administration.
I would not pick a fight going into USMCA to score some cheap political points. Either you are working for your own political career or you're working for the Canadian people.
Tonight, the premiers will sit down with the Prime Minister for a working dinner. The main meetings will take place all day tomorrow. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's main stock index finished higher. In Toronto, the TSX gained 80 points, and in New York, the Dow added 12, while the Nasdaq is up 40. The Canadian dollar gained a quarter-cent today. Gold gained more than $200 an ounce, and oil is up 82 cents a barrel. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. All right, let's take a look at local sports, starting on the ice, where the Essex 73s are heating up at just the right time with the playoffs right around the corner. They played Blenheim last night, and Connor Hunt brought the roof down. Hunt buried a pair, including the game winner, as Essex grinds out a 3-2 win. The 73s sit on top of the Provincial Junior Hockey League with 65 points, and with just 5 games left, they're close to locking up the Staubs division.
You know, usually you see a team with the record that we have, it's like, oh, they're blowing everybody out. That's not the case. So, yeah, it's a very competitive league. It's going to make for a real good playoff. And, you know, we look forward to the playoffs, but we still need to, I think we need about 4 points here, finishing out in the last 6 games to seal first place.
A big reason for that success is youth stepping up. 17-year-old defenseman Gavin Gaudette is logging big minutes, and he's not alone. The 73's young blue line is playing beyond its years and making a difference when it matters most.
I'm in love with our defense, and like I say, there's a bunch of them that are 17. You know, the Wright and the 2 Gaudettes, and they just have played well beyond their years. I mean, they're to the point now where they're close to go-to guys in their first year.
And it was a mixed week for the Windsor Spitfires, but the standings are still tight at the top. The Spits dropped 2 of 3 last week, including a few games that slipped away late. Windsor did salvage the weekend with a road win in Flint, and now sits tied with Flint and Kitchener at 66 points apiece. They're back home tomorrow night against North Bay.
You look at the one loss, we're on the power play and the puck bounces over our guy's stick and they score. Like, those are the hockey gods, and but we got to find a way to score a little bit more.
Head coach Greg Walters says chemistry is still a work in progress, but one combination is clicking. Recent acquisition Noah Villeneuve is skating on the top line alongside captain Liam Greentree.
Billy's been great for us. He works hard. He does his thing, and you know, he's a good player, and it's been pretty easy to play with him. So I think once we just start connecting a little more, then you know, it'll be great.
Obviously, some lines are clicking, some lines aren't. So we have a lot of very skilled players, and we got to just figure out who molds well together.
Local talent is powering a strong volleyball season for the University of Windsor Lancers.
The volleyball in Windsor has definitely been growing. It's cool to see that in younger girls.
Yeah, there's a lot of amazing players on this team, so it's really fun to play with so many skilled players and do so well with everyone.
The Lancers have moved back into first place in the OUA West, sitting at 13-3 and led by a starting rotation stacked with local players. It's a group that's grown together, and it's showing on the court. Windsor is now second in the West at 13-4 and hosts Waterloo Friday and Laurier Saturday. A big night is coming to the WFCU Center this weekend with local talent front and center. Kings 5 hits the WFCU Center Saturday night. The Kings Striking Series is hosting a Canada-US K1 Amateur Showdown sanctioned by WACO Canada. The card features 11 bouts, including 6 local fighters, as organizers look to put Windsor back on the kickboxing map.
We want to bring it back up and make Windsor known for kickboxing, and we think we can do that not only with our athletes here at Windsor Top Boxing, a lot of the other local athletes, and with the way the promotion is going as well. Take King Striking Series to be recognized as the promotion that not only Windsorites want to fight on, but people from across Ontario, Canada, United States, and hopefully eventually internationally as well.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is back with a look at the 7-day forecast. And Gary, for the next few days, it kind of looks like temperatures are going up and up. Kind of?
They are. I mean, that is the trend. Now, the next couple of days, the mornings are quite cold and below seasonal, just like today. It felt like about -24, -25. Tomorrow is a cold day. -24 wind chill at around 7 a.m. We'll see sunny conditions through the morning, midday, early afternoon, then increasing cloud later in the day. -10 will feel like -18. That's probably the warmest it will feel in the next 24 hours. However, there's sunshine for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, parts of Monday, and even Tuesday before things start to cloud over Wednesday. But the trend from the weekend through to the middle of next week is, generally speaking, warmer temperatures for the highs and lows. And we're not likely to see much in the form of snowfall over the next 7 days, save for Monday with some light flurries. That is a look at your weather. Have yourselves a good, warm night. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Gary. And Canada has named its flag bearers for the Olympic opening ceremonies, and they're two of the most decorated names in freestyle skiing. Michael Kingsbury and Marielle Thompson will carry the Canadian flag on February 6th. Kingsbury is a 3-time Olympic medalist in moguls and the first male mogul skier to win 3 Olympic golds. Thompson from Whistler, BC, won gold in her Olympic debut in 2014 and added silver at the 2022 Games. That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.